We'll talk about this car in just a bit, but first we've got to talk about that 11th generation of the Toyota Corolla. Now, since the last gen, it's been called the Corolla Altis here in India. That car failed to inspire in terms of being able to excite the market, do anything that was really different or revolutionary. But of course, it did decently well in terms of sales. So, will the new car be able to also fire up the imagination of the consumer? Bala spent some time with the car. Here are all the details.
A Toyota like you've never seen before. Now that's quite a tall claim for a car that's a bestseller around the world, but the new 11th generation Corolla does make a whole new impression the first time you set eyes on it.
Now you got to say that Toyota has a bit of catching up to do with the 2014 Corolla Altis, especially with formidable rivals like the Skoda Octavia as well as the Hyundai Elantra really capturing the imagination of this segment. Also in this segment, you got to kind of not just impress buyers with a new design, but also really offer something a bit extra that will really get customers talking.
But it could have done way more, really. Unlike the previous generation model, which borrowed heavily from older versions, Toyota has gone the extra mile to give the new Corolla a sportier and more premium image. The sportiness is accentuated by strong lines, swept-back headlamps and a longer wheelbase. The smiling chrome grille with the LED headlamps and the sporty bumper with the sleek fog lamp housing add to the character. The profile in the rear look just as good and sporty as the front, and the new Corolla uses 16-inch alloys for added appeal. Our planned drive with the new Corolla in Bangalore was relatively limited. Maybe Toyota assumed that since the engines are a carryover from the older car, we'd be happy with a short drive. That was so not cool.
Now Toyota has carried forward the 1.8-litre petrol engine from the outgoing model. Fairly smooth and powerful, but there's been really no changes onto it. But where there's been some minor tweaks is in the 7-speed gearbox, which is now fairly smooth and refined, and Toyota claims that it's much more fuel efficient now. Also, the steering is fairly quick and responsive, and interestingly also has paddle shifters, which makes the overall ride a little bit more fun.
But pushing the car hard isn't such a great idea because you can feel and hear the engine groan and grumble, and that's even on long straight stretches. But the automatic does cut smoothly through city traffic, and the CVT seems to squeeze out better power delivery when cruising on the highway. Now the diesel.
Now the 1.4-litre diesel engine really doesn't do too much to impress. It is underpowered, a bit noisy, and you really have to work on the 6-speed manual to get more power and especially downshift quite a bit. But unlike the outgoing model, Toyota probably realizes this is probably the biggest weakness that it has in the current portfolio. So it's packed all the goodies that you get on the top-end variant into the diesel variant so that customers have little to complain about.
But the new Corolla feels more confident to drive from the previous generation with a more responsive electric power steering. The handling feels better too. The suspension setup works well, with the car handling the poor roads in the city and not flinching at high speeds or sharp turns. But the overall drive dynamics still fall short of, say, that Octavia or even the Fluence. A serious effort seems to have been made to give the interiors of the new Corolla a more premium design than the outgoing model. The dashboard layout is neat and layered with a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment console in the center. On a sunny day, the screen is plagued with too much reflection, and it especially hampers the display output from the rear camera. The rectangular air vents are well placed with the digital clock in the middle. The steering mounted controls look a bit dated, but they're easy to use. The instrument cluster is neat and bright with a digital display in between the dials. The overall fit and finish are a big improvement, but Toyota probably could have done more to outdo the Octavia and the Elantra.
Now the rear seat of the new Corolla Altis is a really nice place to be in, not just because of the leather seats, which are nice, firm and comfortable, but also because of the overall space factor having gone up. That's largely due to the overall wheelbase having gone up by about 100 millimeters. That means the knee room is much better inside this cabin. Also, you get extra goodies sitting in the rear seat like the reading lights in the rear seat, as well as these seats which can be reclined for extra comfort.
That is a segment first, folks, and backseat owners would appreciate that. Driver and passenger airbags come standard across variants, but the ABS with electronic brake force distribution and brake assist comes only on the diesel variants and the top-end petrol variant. Diesel variants now get all the features available on the top-end petrol variant to justify the price difference. Toyota might have made headway with the latest Corolla Altis, especially with its bolder design and additional features, but it could have pushed the envelope a bit further. The car has been launched in 5 petrol and 4 diesel variants, and prices range between 12 lakh rupees and 17 lakh rupees for the petrol models and between 13 lakh rupees and 17 lakh rupees for the diesel variants.